also gone, is covered. When we have what we want, as you say, there's already, because we put the label, I have what I want, and because I have what I want, this is making me happy, then already is fear of loss, because we know, oh, if I don't have it, then I'll be unhappy, and we totally forget that I was not so unhappy before I had it, so it's okay. Yeah, so like that, to also to put things in perspective. Sometimes, so that's quite good, and to welcome things that are there. But it's easy to say, but it's so difficult to do. To see that we will survive. It's okay. Yeah. So the more you are able to deal with these things, the more maybe you not so much by telling others what to do, by just being a good example. Actually, by being also inspiring, and not to, when you become useless because you are sick, very sick, and this is also, you see, it's this whole thing about, again, it's about being successful, looking good, being healthy, being happy. You know, sometimes people who interview me from newspapers and like that, they ask me, are you happy? I say, yeah, I'm not terribly unhappy, but I also have moments when I'm not well. It's okay. Yeah. So it's okay to say. Otherwise, again, people practice Dharma because you kind of show how much it helps and it's wonderful and all this. Sometimes it doesn't. It's okay, but also that passes. Everything passes. Yeah. So. If you teach them something, if you want to use meditation, by breathing in, just that they say, I'm open to whatever is there, and by breathing out, by really using these words, even if it's just fake at the beginning, by breathing out, become really wide. Breathing into, you can use the body by going through certain body, like down in your legs, and then you think by breathing out, the legs become very wide. And you think, down to the smallest cells, that everything is opening up like little flowers. You can give them images like that, little flowers. When the sun comes, like the sun shines on them, they open up. And then especially here, the belly, and then especially the chest and the face. I mean, we're holding so many tensions, also in the face, that we don't notice it. Yeah, so it's really good. How many of you did do that before you started the actual meditation? It's part of the meditation, to be aware of the body and to go through it step by step by step by step. Every meditation you do that. Because in meditation you want to be relaxed, means open, then the mind becomes stable and then it becomes clear. But we want a clear mind without doing the first two steps. So very often also we want to dissolve emotions up in the head. They're not in the head, we can feel them in the body. So this is where you need to go. Yeah, not through kind of intellectual thinking. So this is something that you can do. And even breathing together with them,
Yeah, I wanted to ask about the opening up meditation that you mentioned. Can you just talk about that?
To use the breath, to become really wide, to open up. Out breath.
It's like screening all of the body, that's what you meant?
For example, or just in general. Just generally. And we're all like little children. We're all tense and we're all frustrated and we're all frightened. The moment mommy comes and says, it's okay, people relax. It's such a magic word. It's okay. Because it is okay. Whatever is there is okay. So just by hearing that, and to let people know, this is difficult. It is difficult. But with the meditation, I usually start at the feet. So if you go through like a scan, but I usually start at the feet and then come up to the face. And especially in the face, it's because we hold. Many people say, well, I wasn't even aware of my tension in the face. I've been meditating for years. And I haven't seen that I hold here and behind the eyes also, around the eyes, behind the eyes and the front. And I can see it in people sometimes. So if you get very tired in your meditation, instead of it giving you energy, it means you're too tense. You want too much, you're far too tense. relax. But also, you know, when we hear the word relax, it's like this, yeah? That is not relaxed. Yeah, this is why it's quite good to pay attention to your body posture. Even if you're sitting in a chair, you know, when you are sitting in the chair, to come to the front of the chair, not to lean back, so that the back is straight. And also, if you sit next to the wall, if you don't absolutely need the wall, not to lean on the wall. You will learn. These muscles will develop, and it gives you the space and the freedom that you need up in your chest. Yeah. And sometimes you don't, you know, you feel how the muscles open up. You don't have to move at all. Just this, by breathing out, I become, you know, making it spacious. Spacious, open and spacious is a good thing. Being open, I think, is better than to let go. Now saying that, maybe also asking people, are you open to whatever is there? Just to ask them that. What is rejecting? Yeah. And when it's diseased people, you can tell them that they can do practices for them. For example, practicing charity, generosity, and you dedicate it to them. They think that wherever you are, may you be well, may you be happy. What I'm doing now, I'm doing that for you, so that I'm giving you the energy. This is more a bit. I'm sure you can find in every religion. Yeah, so it's good that if somebody has lost somebody, not come with a new system and a new religion. It's much better to find something what they already have. Yeah. So, but again, there's no remedy. Somebody dies, it's painful, it's sad. It's totally okay that it is sad. Even things are impermanent. Even we understand things are impermanent. It's still sad when somebody dies, because we lost somebody that enabled us to show our good sides, because we loved that person. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What about guilt? Guilt. They are feeling guilty.
Oh yeah, this is the big thing. Mm. I give you the Dalai Lama's response to that. So I think he's better than me. People always in the West, first he didn't even understand what people were asking. You know, low self-esteem, guilt, and all that. So I said, look, relax, okay? Because why? Why can you relax? Because God has failed, Jesus has failed, Muhammad has failed, the Buddha has failed. All these high beings, they wanted everybody to be happy, and they did not succeed. So who do you think you are that you should make other people happy? You should succeed in making other people happy. Yeah. Then if it's guilt because you have done something that is negative, then make up for it. Instead of feeling guilty. You see, guilt is a bit of an ego game, right? When we feel guilty, we feel bad. And then we think that's enough to make up for what we did. Because, you know, unconsciously we go, yeah, look, I feel sorry, I feel sad, I feel bad, so then that's good enough. It's a bit childish. Better is like to amend, to do something about this. Yeah. And to also just stand up and say, yes, bloody hell, I'm not perfect. I would love to be perfect, but I'm not. Good thing I only did this and not something bigger. At one point, one man came and he was accused of abusing his 8-year-old child. You know, they were divorced, and so the mother said every time she comes back from it, she's strange and da. So I didn't know that man. He came to tell me, asked me what he should do, and he swore to me that he didn't do it. I said, look, you can swear as much as you want. I don't know, you know, but you have to believe me. I said, it's like, I don't know. So he asked, what can I do? I said, well, you could think, you know, what would make the situation worse, or how the situation could be worse. So he said, no, it can't be worse. I said, yes, it could be worse. You could have done it. Yeah, so if somebody comes and they're being accused wrongly, at least with a very clear conscience, they can say, no, I haven't done it. If it's somebody that has done something, then try to give them the courage so that they can admit, because it will liberate them from their guilt. Also, if it's guilt about something that you have done, it's very good to confess to somebody. Because guilt and shame makes you lonely, and it creates a lot of fear. And it makes you very weak and very small, which is ego very big, but the person itself very small. It needs a lot of courage to admit that we make mistakes. But then you see that you have the courage, and finally it's out, you don't have to hide it anymore. But otherwise you become a horrible person. Guilt is usually, when somebody feels guilty, they don't give others the permission to be happy anymore. Isn't it? They can't stand happy people around them. It's horrible. Yeah. How can you feel so happy when I feel so bad? Yeah. And very often we're guilty about maybe mistakes that were made, but that we can learn from these mistakes. Yeah. Attention when we've done something negative, again, that's good, because it might, if you're wise, that means, if I don't want to have these tensions anymore, then I better stop doing what I'm doing. And so this is basically mindfulness now, because it's a big, I don't know, you see, I don't really teach secular mindfulness groups. And I'm quite happy that I don't have to, because I wouldn't know how to package it without leaving Buddhism out, to be honest. But I think even if they're totally non-religious or totally secular, I would still mention why one wants to train mindfulness. Because I think the ordinary view, why one wants to train mindfulness is what? What is the...
Become more productive.
Huh?
Become more productive at work.
To become more productive, okay. If it's the boss paying for it, yeah. And more happy so that you don't complain about everything. So don't allow that don't allow them to do that to you. If you're where you're working, if they offer you a mindfulness course, then, or if you are offering a mindfulness course in one of these places, ask the boss to come as well, to participate as well. And what else would be the view, when they go voluntarily to the mindfulness course and pay money? What would be the reason why they do it?
Sometimes people want to calm down. I think that's what I heard from people. If they go to practice mindfulness, they want to be more relaxed.
Yeah, exactly. They want to be more relaxed, more happy and all this. So then if you do teach people like that, it's good to tell them what mindfulness is for. What is mindfulness for? Question to you. Should come in your exam.
To release you from automatic reactions, to be more aware to your...
Yeah.
Live in the moment.
Yeah.
To be present.
Somebody who's robbing a bank is very much living in the moment. They're very mindful and very aware, much more than we are. That should give you the hint.
To have a better view of reality.
Better view of reality, that comes further down, yeah? But something very boring.
Pay attention to whatever is going around, inside and out.
For your ethical conduct. That's what mindfulness is all about. To be aware whether your action is ethical or not ethical. Whether you're creating more problems for yourself in the future or less. Yeah? So that's the lowest way of looking at karma. I'm doing it for me. But if we don't make that step, we will not make the step, I'm doing it in order not to harm others. We too quickly, very often in the second step, I don't want to harm others, therefore I'm ethical. If we can't do it for us, then when things get tight, we will definitely not do it for others. Yeah, like you see, ethical conduct is a very, very nice thing to think about, as long as it's not expensive and as long we don't have to give up too many things that we want to have. Yeah, when it gets difficult and we have to give up on things, and when it becomes expensive, it's not so inspiring anymore. So then the mindfulness comes in to be able to catch, as you said, to be able to catch the thoughts and to dissolve these thoughts before they start kind of strengthening or nourishing these very, very habitual tendencies, as you say. The reaction will still come for a long, long time. So don't underestimate the power of our habits, the tendencies that we have. Yeah, they're residues from unresolved past actions or unresolved past thoughts, unseen thoughts. Because it's only when you really start to practice mindfulness for that reason, not to feel better, not to feel happier, but to look at your thoughts, and you can get quite frightened by saying, shit, I thought I was a good person. But all I am is a ball of self-cherishing. Everything is just about me. Wanting to be special, wanting to be seen, wanting to succeed, wanting this and this and this and this. Yeah. And then all of a sudden we start to see the small non-ethical things that we do, the little lies here and there, the maybe taking something here and there in the office or whatever. Yeah, we're not doing big things. And I was explaining karma in the course here. Somebody that took killing. What is a full action of killing? Somebody said, can we take something else? We're definitely not going around killing. So I said, oh, you never killed a mosquito? She said, yeah, of course. I said, yeah, well, that's not killing? No, it's mosquito. Okay. See, this is usually, the standard for our own ethical behavior is really low. Whereas the standard for other people's ethical behavior is incredibly high. Yeah, they should never lie to us, otherwise you get angry or hurt or disappointed. They should never steal from us, they should never cheat us, they should always be kind to us. When we want them to be quiet, they have to be quiet. When we want them to talk to us, they have to talk to us. Yeah, this is, this whole thing about our reactions towards unethical behavior when others do it is very strong. It's okay. But then it has to be the same strength when we do something. And this we don't. So this is where the discrepancy comes in. So when we start to see how difficult it is to be ethical, then we are much more tolerant with others also. And actually at the beginning, ethical conduct is my problem. It's not, you don't have to be so concerned about other people's karma. First, be concerned about your own karma. This is the first job. Then afterwards, when you do that for yourself, then comes the next step that you think, okay, I don't want to harm others. And then again, you look, why do I not to harm others? Look, why do I not want to harm others? Again, the motivation is pretty much self-concern, because I don't want them to dislike me. Yeah? So now, please don't go by saying, oh, okay, I don't care whether others like me or don't like me, so I just do whatever comes to my head. It's just not like that, yeah? Adjust your motivation. Because when it comes to creating karma, shempa, this kind of, the intention, it's called intention, but when we hear intention, we think intention here. It's not intention there. It's like tendency, impulses that have been trained. That is what is creating, whether it's going to be positive or negative. Not because the Buddha says or because God says, because your mind knows. Because your mind knows. Would you like to sit on a chair? You look a bit uncomfortable there. Are you okay? We have 15 more minutes, I think. Is okay? Yeah, because also it's important to be comfortable, so it's very important. Okay.
But also opportunity to practice suffering.
We don't have enough.
Yeah.
Could you please repeat?
Yeah, so like this. So this is, I think it's good to tell people that, because, You see, when you are acting in an ethical way because you decided that you want to be ethical, that will make you happy. Ethical behavior is the cause for happiness, and happiness in the sense of peace, space, okay, being okay with yourself, unguilty, you know, being mindful for the sake of not having to feel guilty afterwards, which spoils a lot of our fun in life when we walk around guilty. Yeah.
I want to go back to the questions students ask us, or if we have if there is any situation. There's different.
Yeah, I think you have to switch it on then.
There's difference between somebody who is dying and being with his family, and there's difference when people are somebody's suicide,
Yeah.
or his child killed by an accident. It's different way to react to that. The question is in the Buddhist perspective.
Yeah, Buddhist perspective is this karma thing, but it very often, if people, it's not helpful. It really is not helpful. I mean, not so long ago, somebody quite angry asked a Tibetan Lama. I was actually shocked at his answer, quite honestly. Asked, well, it was written question, so question went, okay, you say that these parents of mine, they have been very kind in past life, but big deal, he raped me in this life. Okay, so then the Lama answered, well, no, this father in this life that raped you, he was not a kind father in your last life, but you were the father and then you raped him. So I don't think that's a good answer for a Western mind, especially for somebody who is, that you can see from the way that the question was asked, that there's somebody who doesn't really know much about Buddhism. Yeah. If I need to say something in this, I would just say, well, you know, just sometimes maybe think about how the person feels. Like we were talking about guilt. So can you imagine how a father feels that rapes his daughter? I mean, I'm a nun, so I'm not a monk, so I don't really, I can't kind of thing. But I have vows also. I have vows, some like no killing a person, then no sexual conduct, and no lying, and no stealing big things. And I took those vows. Huh? Big things, yeah. Also not small things, but you see, if I break any of those four, all the other vows are gone. So these are the four main ones. Killing a human, and stealing things that would cause a court case. Telling lies about my accomplishments, and sexual conduct. So when I hear about these priests that abuse children, I can put myself in their role, because they became priests because they had a motivation to be of help. But then because of desire and because of totally uncontrolled mind and because of power, I mean, they know what they did. So I can imagine how we don't have to wish them to go to hell. They are already in hell. Yeah, so this is what I mean. Yeah. So, yeah, to maybe make it aware to somebody that also the person who's done it suffers. Again, if you can take smaller incidents, like for example, if I dislike somebody, and it still happens, even after all these years of practice, I still have people, and I hate it when they like me, because then they come close, and then they ask questions. This is a very difficult one, yeah? They want advice, and they ask questions. I can hardly look at them to answer. It's like, it's torture for me. Yeah? And it's not funny. I know you're laughing, but it's really not funny. And I really have to put myself together to be kind. And You see, with these people, I'm very ready to to show them their faults, and you do this, and you have to change that, blah, blah, blah. People I like, I'm much more careful, because, I don't want to hurt them. The others, I don't really care. Spontaneously. Here, yes, I do. But here, to be honest, no. So there's a few. It was a lot. I mean, this was my biggest problem. That before I started practicing, there were some people I just could not stand them. So if you don't have this problem, be very happy, because I didn't like it. I hated myself for this. Also, you feel like a total idiot because people say, "Hey, what's wrong with you? What are you going to say? Why are you so unpleasant with me? What are you going to say if they haven't done anything?" Then you go like, "Nothing, what's wrong with you?" So that's about the answer that you can give, but you feel like a total idiot. So there again, it's like, what do you do when that happens? When they come and ask for advice? Do you send them to somebody else, or what do you do? Can you imagine yourself in the situation? But what I was trying to get at is, when somebody dislikes me, or when I dislike somebody, if I would have the choice, or now you also, which role would you choose? The one who is disliked or the one who dislikes?
Can you repeat the question, please?
Huh?
Can you repeat the question, please?
Okay. So there's two people. One is pretty neutral, but then there's this one that doesn't like him. Yeah. So which one would you like to be? The one who is being disliked, or the one who dislikes?
The one who dislikes.
The one who dislikes.
Would you like to be that one?
No, to relate to that one. I would not like to.
No, you have a choice which one you want to be.
No, I didn't.
Huh?
She's a lawyer, she got third option.
Oh, okay. Both have very unpleasant roles to play. But which role, if you could choose, would you do? Or more simple. You come to the office and somebody spills the coffee over somebody else. Which one would you like to be? The one who has the coffee spilled on him, or the one who spills the coffee?
Spilled on me.
Of course.
Yes.
Of course. Yeah, so when you think like this, then this you can kind of also, this is a great help, because the victim feels, oh, so terrible, not understanding that the aggressor is actually in the worst place. Not understanding that. By giving them that thing, if you could choose, which role would you choose? To be the aggressor or to be the victim? For not just for the action, but for later. Huh?
The aggressor. I always choose the aggressor.
Really? Have you ever aggressed people?
No.
Yeah, so you don't know what it means. This is the thing, you see, you don't know how bad the aggressor feels. That's why you choose it, because you don't know. Yeah? But if you...
We do know, most of us are parents, and I think our kids, sometimes they see us as they dislike us because we make them do the thing they don't want to.
Yeah, but that's different, isn't it? Because they still feel loved and accepted and everything.
Maybe not mine.
This I don't know. Have you ever asked them?
Yes.
Okay.
They tell that every time they feel confused.
How old are they?
16, 8, and 6.
They're supposed to
It will pass. I think this is normal. I think it will pass. Just be patient and think this is a period, it will pass. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I had this, now I'm telling you, maybe that will help you. I really disliked my mother. I could not stand her. And I couldn't do anything against, I couldn't do anything about it. This is what I'm saying. It's a horrible role to be the one who cannot be friendly.
because it's from here.
Yeah, I could not. So I was avoiding her wherever I could. I left home when I was 15. You know, I could say because I didn't want to hurt her. That's not true. No, I couldn't stand her, so I left. And it's only thanks to Buddhism and spiritual practice I was able to dissolve that dislike. And I tell you, I feel really, really relieved. She hasn't changed at all. So you can do whatever you want. They will, if it's as strong as it was with me, mine, it will not help. So don't take it upon yourself that you are wrong, doing wrong things or a wrong mother or whatever. Try not to take it personally. This comes from somebody who has hated her mother without having, she didn't do anything to us. You know, I can't say she was bad with it. She was never home, that was what it was, but it was okay, I think. We were quite happy that she was not, or I was quite happy. My brother didn't have it. He didn't have that strong feeling, that strong aversion towards her. So it's also difficult for the one. Try to see also, it's also difficult for your children. And this, when you are on this side of receiving the aggression, you don't see it. And you think that they're doing it on purpose. They're not doing it on purpose. They cannot do any other thing. Yeah. Now, it doesn't make it better to think like this, but at least it doesn't make it worse. Yeah. And every time somebody comes into your field of vision that you dislike, just look at how that feels for you. That you're not disliking the person on purpose, but there's nothing you can do unless you have methods to dissolve it. This is the thing. You know, people don't have a choice to be angry or not angry. Especially if you don't practice. And the first moment of anger will arise because that is the seed that is still there. The object just brought it up. Yeah. Then how you react, the more aware you are, and this is what mindfulness is for, and the more aware you are, you can say, oops, that's it, I'm not going to say anything. And you will have to, as Shantideva says, have to become like a piece of wood. And then we say, oh no, that's suppressing it. No, you're not suppressing anything. You're suppressing that word that would come out of your mouth that then would create another imprint. What you are doing while you are thinking you're suppressing it, you're staying with your negative emotion and you're very aware of it and you don't feed it. And you think, what would the situation be if I wouldn't have anger or aversion or attachment or fear or whatever? You really try to think, what would the situation be if I wouldn't have my pleasures? Because then you come out of the negative emotion and you go into your wisdom. Now that sounds very, very easy to do. I tell you, it's really difficult. It needs a lot of practice to be able to do that. And please, 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 do not put the pressure on you that you should be able to do that after how many years they come to you?
How many years?
Years.
8 months.
8 months.
The course.
Yeah.
8 months.
And please do not put yourself under the pressure. He's an excellent teacher, I'm sure, and he's a wonderful person. But even he is not able to be, so that you are so perfect in that practice after 8 months that whenever a negative emotion arises, you'll be able to catch it and then let it dissolve. It needs a lot of practice, and then for sometimes you're able to do it and you think, okay, now I got it, and then something small comes along and you totally fly off the handle. And then please don't hate yourself and don't judge yourself.
We don't, we just, he is guilty for this.
He what?
Allah is guilty. If it happens, it's not us. It's him. He is the teacher.
He's the teacher, yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. So this is, I don't know if that was of any help.
What?
Just don't put pressure on yourself that you have to answer or you have to solve other people's problems. Be there for them and listen. Listening is the best thing. And stop your brain working, just listen. Go to your ears. Yeah? And if you need to cry with the person, and you cry with the person. Don't be afraid of your tears, because sometimes it's really, really difficult what you have to hear. And you will feel that urge wanting to say something that really helps. Don't. Keep your heart open, because the urge closes the heart. So just keep your heart open, and I'm sure you teach them Tonglen also.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So think that, okay, now I am the Buddha, now I'm taking the suffering of this person. Not you as a person, you cannot. But think, oh, the Buddha is in my heart, you breathe to your heart. You have a source of light in here, you breathe to your heart, and this is your resources, and you stay 90% in your resources, in your goodness, in your good heart, and you only think 10% about the difficulties. Otherwise, you know, we breathe in, and we breathe in, and we breathe in, and we breathe in, and we're not breathing anything out. And then it sits. Of course, that's why tumbling is so frightening, because you don't know how to breathe out. We don't know how to dissolve it. Then Buddhist views about emptiness and about how the mind projects everything and all this is for people who understand Buddhism, who can do something with it. Love and compassion everybody understands. No need for big philosophical things. Sometimes I even tell people I wish I had a magic stick and I could just kind of make it go away, but I don't. You know, to admit that. Don't know what to say, then again you relax and you can just be with the person that is not so well. Okay? Well, thank you very much for listening.
Thank you.
If it was of any help, then okay. If not, it's okay. Yeah, it was okay. It's like, this is it, you know, allow yourself to make mistakes. Allow yourself to be useless sometimes. It's okay. Then you become natural, normal, you know. Everybody likes that. People are normal, not big somebodies. Yeah. To really catch that thing, I have to be special. Why? Everybody wants to be special. If you want to be really special, try not to be special. Then you become really special. Yeah. Like a full awakening. Somsa Khyentse Rinpoche says, what is a Buddha? The Buddha is a mind that is at the height of its normality. We think it's something really high up there, you know, very far away from us. No, it's a mind that is normal. Normal in the sense of not harming anybody, and whatever you can do to help, it helps. That is normal. And sometimes we are awakened. Sometimes we, in a very normal way, we help, and we're not making a big deal out of it. And sometimes, you know, when we harm somebody, we don't feel normal. This is it. When you're the aggressor, you're not normal. Because it's not normal to a mind to be aggressive. It's a disturbed mind. It's a confused mind. Then you don't feel good. That's why aggressors don't feel good. And to cover it up, they become more and more and more aggressive.
Ask if I have a choice to be the one who's being aggressed or the aggressor. You asked about two choices. You didn't give me a third choice.
Is there a third choice?
Yep.
For what?
Not to be here, not to be there.
Well, yeah, this is like, what do we do? You know?
Just to be.
Just to be, yeah, that's when we're fully awakened, then we're there. At the moment we have to deal with what we have. Yeah. This, you know, to make this choice, when you are being aggressed, why we think like this is that we start to understand when we're not aggressed, while we are calm, actually the other is in the worse position than I am. Because I can move away from this person. On top of it, as the victim, I get a lot of compassion from everybody. Yeah. On top of it now, talking Buddhism, my negative karma has been exhausted. He has it in front of him. He gets no compassion from anybody else. He's hated by other people or disliked. Whereas me, I'm actually, now people are looking after me. Yeah, so this would be quite a high thinking like this. Yeah, but before you go there, then, yeah. We try to find ways to think so that we, you know, don't suffer so much. Yeah. I mean, if you're in a movie and you can play the good guy or the bad guy, I mean, what would you play? Or okay, movie doesn't really matter, but if you in life, if you would have a choice, what would you choose? Of course, to be the good guy. Of course, yeah. The bad guy's in a bad spot. Yeah. Okay.
Last there's no good and bad.
Yeah, well, again, on the conventional level there is, so don't go there too quickly. Please do not apply emptiness on the conventional level. It's no good.
I know.
This is very dangerous. This is very, very dangerous, because then you fall into nihilism. Yeah? Until you understand emptiness really, really well, and you only apply there's no good no bad when you go into ultimate truth, not on the conventional level. This is very important. Otherwise, anything is anything. Yeah. So like that. Sorry, I was a bit firm here now, because this I think is important. Yeah. Of course, ultimately there is no good and bad, but on the conventional level there is. And suffering is suffering, and absence of suffering is absence of suffering. Okay, so I wish you all the best. Anyway, thank you very much for listening to me. And
Which means good luck in the test. The test next week.
Oh, okay. If you fail, you won't be the first one or the last one. Go there totally relaxed. Your life will not be finished. Life will continue even if you fail. Yeah. Take tests as fun. Tests are for you. Tests are good. Tests are important. Take them as a game. Take them as fun. It takes a long time for people to get there. That actually it's fun. It's not. I don't need to succeed. You know, it shows me where I am, and it's very, very helpful. And you don't need to succeed, as we said. You know, you can say, okay, somebody needs to be the worst in the class. I'll take that role.
As a bodhisattva.
Yeah, somebody has to be the last. Okay, I'll take that. It's okay. And thank you very much also for being interested in teaching meditation, because this is really good. This will make a difference. Probably first to ourselves, because the better you know, the more you practice yourself, and because you're teaching, so you're forced to practice yourself. So that's the good thing. You don't have a choice. Also, there's no more choice. Shall I go to the lecture? Shall I not? You have to go. You can't choose. So then, all this choice that we're giving ourselves is very often not very helpful, because we're not very wise by choosing. Often we choose short-term happiness, and then we get long-term suffering, instead of saying, okay, I'll take short-term suffering, but then I'll get long-term happiness. We're not very wise, actually. We're quite stupid. Confused. Confused may be a nicer word than stupid. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dear Anila, I want to thank you that you came to this place, to this
Well,
compa.
it's thanks to Natalie, who was over there, that drove me.
She's the driver, yes.
Yeah. She's a very good driver.
Yeah?
Indeed, yeah.
So we thank also to Natalie and the teacher drivers. And I want to thank you that you come every year to here. And
Well, thank you for inviting me.
you know, I'm already waiting for the next time. And thank you for all the knowledge that you gave me. And that's it, you know, your knowledge is in the head already. I learned so much from you. Through 2005 until now, and it's great karma to all of us to meet together and learn together. So thank you again, and I
You're very,
wish
very
to
welcome.
meet you again here next year.
Yeah.
And thank you very much. Again.
Inshallah, yeah, we say.
I'll meet you in Kfar Monash I'll meet you in Kfar Monash this weekend.
Okay. Yeah, it will be quite interesting topic. We're looking at our usual interest, which is called the eight worldly concerns, and then why these are so kind of dangerous, because they bring up a lot of negative emotions. This is the problem, you know.
The first retreat that I met you, the eight verses, Geshe-Langi Tangpa, is a very big chapter in the studying, the Lojong. And most of them, this chapter is very unique and is a life changer. And I think we must learn Lojong. This is one of the things that is so lack in the studying of just mindfulness.
Yeah, exactly.
If you don't learning Lojong, you miss a lot. And my first Lojong teaching was with you, and John Bagazzo. You were leading the meditations.
I can tell you how somebody really put this into practice, because we had we had a course on the 7-point mind transformation, which is also, it's really good because there you have very clear instructions what to do and what not to do. I like to combine these two. And by Geshe Kava, so there it says like turn everything, take all conditions into the path. So we were quite a big group. It was in Switzerland, so I was doing the karma yoga kind of thing, and I don't let people choose. I just put them somewhere. And so she was washing dishes. So she came and said, look, you can give me ironing, cleaning, toilet, but I really hate to wash dishes. So I said, look, it's not difficult. We have a washing machine. People rinse their plates. All you have to do, and there's somebody else with you, you put them in the machine, you wait until it's finished, you take it up. She said, oh, okay. Then the machine broke. But she had already decided that this is what she was going to do. So she not only did the lunch, she did all 3 every time she was there washing dishes. So that is, turning difficult conditions into the past by doing it voluntarily. And then she was so happy at the end of the course. She said, wow, this was the best course I ever did. So problems we can take voluntarily. Anyway, we're also going. So...
בואו נעמוד, ניפרד מהמורה. אל תלכו, אני צריך להגיד לכם כמה מילים, אז רק ניפרד מהמורה.
What was that?
נטלי, תלווי אותה לחדר בבקשה.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay, so I disappear or I stay here?
Magically get to the office. You magically get to the office.
Get to the manager office with
I disappear into there. Thank you very much.
שבו עוד דקה וחצי, בבקשה, אם אפשר, שנייה, רק רגע, אני מצלם את